by me, Kyle Comstock, Javon Nair, and Christopher Cheston. And our superhero quote is, "Whatever you are, be a good one," by Abraham Lincoln. The short story of Electron, Zane Watson. Zane Watson is a 17-year-old boy, born July 2nd, 2001, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is the kind of person who was raised under the virtues of courage and integrity. He has a cool girlfriend named Sarah. He works at a GameStop and goes to school at the University of Pittsburgh and gets good grades. His mom and dad are divorced, and he is set to inherit his dad's power plant. One day he came home from school. He realized that his phone was out of battery, so he went to plug it in. But as he held it, the charge in the phone was already going up very fast. In 1 minute, it had hit 100%, just from him holding it. "Oh, that's strange," he thought, putting down his phone. When he went to turn on the TV with the buttons because he lost the remote, but when he turned it on, it turned extremely bright and then it fizzed out sparks flying out of it. What in the world? Then out of the blue, he had a conveniently placed flashback. All of a sudden he was 6 again, and his dad was giving him a tour of the power plant. His dad is showing him where all the power is produced, and all of a sudden, an alarm starts blaring. His dad asks the nearest worker, "What's going on?" "One of the generators has overheated," said a man over the loudspeaker. "We need to evacuate right now." His dad grabs him by the collar, guiding him to the nearest exit. They get to the door, but it's locked. Then, bam! He gets knocked out by a big electrical wire spewing a spark. Next thing he knows, he's in the hospital. He overhears his mom and dad talking with the doctor. "Do you think he's going to live?" His mom said in tears. "Yes," said the doctor. "It was just enough electricity not to kill him, but he's supercharged with electricity." After that, all he remembered was his parents talking about divorce and the doctor leaving the room.
Then he woke up, but in the real world, and he thought confused about what just happened. He decided to take a walk to clear his head and get a better sense of what just happened to him. He was walking near GameStop. He went inside the store to work, and there was a conveniently placed robbery taking place there. Get on the ground," said one of the 3 robbers. Then adrenaline started coursing through him. The room went dark, and a bright flash filled the room. Bolts of electricity shot from Zane's hands, and when the lights came back on, there were 3 knocked out robbers on the floor. He ran to his house and was afraid of his own newfound power. He went to try and see if he could do it again. He touched the microwave and it burst. Then he got an idea. He sold his car and bought a Tesla and touched the battery. It immediately reached maximum charge, and he never bought gasoline again. Then he got the great idea to be a superhero, and conveniently he happened to have taken knitting classes at a young age. So he easily made himself an amazing yellow and black suit that basically screamed, "I'm an awesome superhero."
The next day he went for another walk, but there was a conveniently placed gunfight taking place between police and some strange gangsters with black masks. "Why is there crime going on everywhere I go? Am I really that unlucky?" he said. He sprung into action and fired stun bolts at the gangsters, and they fell down. Then one of the masked gangsters pulled out a strange device. He powered up the device, which shot a plasma beam at him. All of Zane's energy was sucked out of him, and he collapsed. He woke up restrained by shackles in a very evil-looking lair that looked very ominous and spooky. "You're up," said a strange man in a lab coat standing near him. "Who are you supposed to be?" said Zane. He said he was the Dark Soul, a mad scientist / head of a criminal crime syndicate known as the Dark Souls. His master plan, he explained, was to have Zane learn to use his power through a series of conveniently placed robberies and trials. He would then use Zane use Zane's power to power his death ray that he would fire at Washington, D.C. Dark Soul hooked Zane up to the ray, and the energy was drained from him like a battery in a remote. He had to think fast to escape, so he began to drain energy from the ray and its surroundings faster than it was being taken from him. Then kabam! The ray exploded, and the lair began to fall apart. Dark Soul tried to escape via jetpack, but Zane took it and flew them both out of the lair as it crumpled behind them. He dropped Dark Soul off at the police station and flew home to rest. The next day he went to get the paper, and the headline was all about him defeating the Dark Souls, and the press even gave him a superhero name. From that day on, he would be forever known as Electron.
We dedicate this to our superhero, to all the police officers. We dedicate our superhero to all the police officers, firefighters, Army and Navy men and women who serve and protect our country and who risk their lives every day just so we can feel safe and not have to worry about anything or anyone trying to hurt us. And that's exactly why we created our superhero, so people could feel safe to walk the streets and know that there is someone there to make them feel protected.